912 Sports, Southeast Georgia's #1 source for high school sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, a weekly look at high school sports in Southeast Georgia, featuring coaches, players, and journalists who know the ins and outs of prep athletics. Presented by the award-winning writers and broadcasters of 912 Sports, and sponsored by Coastal Pines Technical College, Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, Prime South Bank, and Gibson Animal Clinic. Now, this week's headline.
And then there were three. Hello, everybody, and thanks for watching the Thanksgiving edition of On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, and tonight's show, Robbie Ross will recap all the games from the 912 area code over this past Friday night. We'll look back at two disappointing losses here in the 912 as the Brunswick High Pirates go down to defeat to Decula, and the Ware County Gators lose a shootout in the swamp to Calhoun. Kevin Price and myself will preview the remaining three games here in the 912 as Peach comes calling on the Pierce County Bears in Bearville. Appleton County travels up to Thompson to take on the Bulldogs, and Northeast comes calling on Swainsboro. All that and more tonight on the Thanksgiving edition of On Air with 912 Sports. Thanks for watching.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Welcome in to another edition of the Ross Recap on 912 Sports. And tough Friday night for 912 area teams in the second round of the state playoffs. We'll start in 6A. Decula came all the way down to Glenn County Stadium from Gwinnett County, north of Atlanta, and defeated Brunswick 29-21. Brunswick had a ton of mistakes, a lot of penalties, and maybe a couple of questionable play calling from the sideline, not using the running game maybe as much as they should have in some situations. But nevertheless, Decula knocks off Brunswick, giving the Pirates their first loss of the year in the second round of the playoffs. Decula advances 29-21. They will host Johns Creek in the Elite Eight. In 5A, another instance of a good team coming down in the second round. Good matchups all across the state in the second round. It was Calhoun coming down from northwest Georgia to take on Ware County, and back and forth they went all night long, and finally Calhoun gets a goal line stand with about 20 seconds left and recovers a fumble of Thomas Castellanos, who was reaching for the goal line, and Calhoun comes out on top, leaving Waycross with a W, 49-42 on a goal line stand. A great football game. Two great programs going at it too early in the playoffs, if you ask me. AAA was some success for the 912. Appling County defeated Cherokee Bluff 34-20. They will now travel to Thompson, take on the Bulldogs in the Brickyard in the quarterfinals. Pierce County all over Dawson County, 49-0. They will host Peach County in the quarterfinals, and Liberty County's season ends losing to Carver Atlanta 53-12. In AA, Swainsboro gets a win over Columbia 41-14. They will host Northeast out of Macon. Jeff Davis falls to the number one team in the state in Class AA, Rabun County, in a big one, 56-7. Jeff Davis' season ends at 10-2. And in Class A Public, it was Manchester defeating McIntosh County Academy 19-13 in triple overtime. A good ball game there. McIntosh's season ends at 6-5-1. So there you have it for the Ross recap for round 2 of the playoffs. Only a couple of teams remain in the 9-1-2. We got Swainsboro still alive, headed to the Elite 8, and Appling County and Pierce County still alive, heading to the Elite 8. So hopefully those teams can pull through and get to the Final Four. We'll have another Ross recap next week here on 912 Sports.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive in Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
It's basketball season at Ware County High School. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, and I had the honor of watching the Ware County Gators take on the Calhoun Yellow Jackets this past Friday night at Memorial Stadium in a game that probably should have been a semifinal, maybe even a state final matchup. This game was played in round 2, and one of the most promising seasons for the Ware County Gators' recent history came to a crashing halt, losing 49-42. Listen, it was a hard-fought game. You tip your hat to Calhoun. They came ready to play. The offensive side of the ball, Ware County played well, scored 42 points, but it's just not enough when your defense gives up 49. There were several plays that you can point to in the game, but the bottom line is when Coach Strickland and I talked before the game on our podcast last week, we knew Ware County had to play almost a perfect game. And listen, they did not. They turned the ball over 3 times, had some very untimely penalties, got a couple of breaks that the referees, could have went either way. The Ware County didn't get any of those. And what you have is what you have Friday night, and that's a 49-42 loss to a very good Calhoun Yellow Jackets team. They came into it tonight. Their quarterback was on spot. They've got a receiver, Spears, who was really, really good. And they took it to Ware County. They were physical. They were strong. They had a great game plan. They came from behind. They onside kicked the ball all night long, which gave them a turnover. And that was another thing. Ware County turned the ball over 3 times on the night, turned the ball over on an onside kick, turned the ball over on downs when you had a first down, but some penalties put you behind the 8 ball. Got a bad spot, didn't get the first down, but that's just the breaks of football. But again, the Gators kind of got to regroup, kind of got to look forward now because 2021's in the past. Got to look forward to 2022. This team is going to be structured a lot differently because gone is going to be Thomas Castellano, Cartavius Norton, James Daniels. A lot of your big-name offensive firepowers are going to be gone. The good thing for the Gators is almost their whole entire line, with the exception of the center, is going to be coming back on the offensive side of the ball. They're going to have to put new skill people in place, but I do believe they've got those skill people. The good thing about it is their defense is bringing everybody back, and everybody will have another year off season to get better, stronger, faster. So the defensive side of the ball should be their strong suit next year. So the Gators will have to put their emphasis on holding people to low scoring games. And listen, that formula works. The old adage is defense wins championships. So we'll see what the Gators do in the offseason. But again, tip your hat to Calhoun. They were ready to play. They made the long 300+ mile ride down to Waycross, Georgia, and handled their business and went back home with a win. They're going to be playing in the third round, and the Gators are going to be at home eating Thanksgiving dinner. So again, tough break for the Gators. Ball game could have went either way, but the Gators did come up on the short end of the stick, losing 49-42. And like I said, it's basketball season at Ware County. But we'll see how things go in the offseason. But everybody stay tuned. We'll have some more information on that. But the Gators go down to defeat 49-42 to the Calhoun Yellow Jackets. Thanks for watching.
Hello, everybody. Kevin Price for On Air with 912 Sports. First off, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Friday night, I was out at Glenn County Stadium for what turned out to be Brunswick High School's final game of the 2021 season as the Pirates lose a disappointing game in the second round of the Class 6A state playoffs. BHS falls to Decula 29-21, thus ending the Pirates season in round 2. Yet again, the Pirates lost for the third straight time in the second round, and now the Pirates have not advanced out of the second round in 7 straight appearances since making it to the state title game in 1999 in Class 4A. Simply put, it was just a bad night for BHS, a series of blunders, a comedy of errors, a bunch of mistakes, turnovers, penalties, including some costly delay of game penalties, and Brunswick just buried themselves in their self-inflicted wounds. Decula, quite honestly, really wasn't a whole lot better. They had their own penalties. They had their own turnovers. They failed to get on an onside kick late in the game to still give Brunswick life. They did everything possible almost to lose the game themselves, but when it mattered the most, I guess the Falcons were just a little bit better than the Pirates, and they ended up coming out on top and moving on to this week's third round, the state quarterfinals, where they will now be at home against Johns Creek instead of Brunswick being back at home between the bricks against John Creek. But here's how it went. Decula jumped out on top 14-0, kind of stunned the Pirates early, but Brunswick High got right back in the ball game, and they went to their big gun to get it done. After Decula went up 14-0, they gave the ball to Jacoby Hill on their first offensive snap, and the senior running back went 63 yards for a score to kind of get the Pirates going, give them some renewed energy, some life again, got the fans behind them again. It was 14-7. Brunswick also made a stop on after the ensuing kickoff, forced Decula to punt the football, and they were going to get the ball at their own 40-yard line, but Decula committed a penalty. Brunswick accepted the penalty, made them punt again, and it was a shorter kick, and Brunswick took over at the Decula 23. And the Pirates took advantage of that good field position on 4th and 1. From the 14-yard line, they gave the ball to Jacoby Hill. He went off the left side and scored again to make it 14-14 after the McLean-Finneran PAT, and that was the score at halftime. So the Pirates battled back to even the score at intermission. Now, things got interesting in a hurry right out of the gate in the third quarter. The Pirates got the ball to start the third quarter after winning the coin toss and deferring to the second half. They would have to punt out of their own end zone. Decula blocked the punt, and the ball actually went forward past the line of scrimmage. Somehow, some way, it happened so quick that it apparently hit a Decula player. Brunswick was right on it. They knew it. They got on the loose football after a discussion by the officials. They did award the ball to the Pirates, so they got the ball back or kept possession at the 16, marched it all the way down inside the Decula 10-yard line, had the ball 4th and a long 2, a short 3, and on the 5-yard line, they were going to go for it, but unfortunately, they had a delay of game penalty and had to go back 5 yards. They decided to then go for a field goal that was spotted on the 17, so it was a 27-yard try. It was well off the mark, so the score stayed at 14-14. Then Decula, starting at its own 20, they had a swing pass that deflected off the receiver's hand. Tyler Sams for the Pirates was right there, a young defensive back. He intercepted the ball, returned it to the 7-yard line, so the Pirates set up shop in business on the Decula 7. On the first play, they give it to their senior go-to guy, Jacoby Hill. He carries it down to the 3-yard line. You would think maybe the Pirates are going to go right back to their big gun, but instead they give it to Terry Mitchell, a great young sophomore player, on a speed sweep. But the result was a lost yardage play, 13 yards loss actually, and the Pirates continued to go backwards from there. They had another delay penalty, and after a couple of incomplete passes, they turn it over on downs again. So coming up empty twice in a row down deep in Decula territory would end up actually killing the Pirates and ultimately maybe made the difference in the ball game. And then so Decula would, of course, get the ball back, and they're going to go on a nice drive. and they got the ball actually deep down inside BHS's territory, and the quarter would flip and they would go to the other end. They had the ball inside the Brunswick 5, and on, I think it was second down, they give the ball to their big guy, Kyle Eford. He tries to jump over the pile a la Herschel Walker or Bo Jackson, ends up flipping in the air, comes down really hard, possibly on his head or definitely on his shoulders. It was hard to tell, and loses the football in the process. Fortunately, he was okay. He came back in the ball game, but Brunswick dodged a bullet there, recovered the fumble, so it's still 14-14. But they ran an offensive play from the shotgun out of their own end zone, and the Decula defense met Jacoby Hill in the end zone, dropped him for a safety, so it's 16-14, and things were still a long way over from there. Brunswick, of course, had to kick off to Decula. They could not do nothing with the ball. In fact, they turned it over. Brunswick would get it inside Decula territory, and they would also turn it over on downs. And then Decula probably made what really amounts to the game-winning drive, I guess. They go over 60 yards and score to make the ball game 23-14. And then somehow, some way, the Pirates certainly didn't quit. They managed to drive for another touchdown. I don't know how the ball was caught, but it was. It probably should have been intercepted in the end zone, but it was not. The Brunswick receiver, Navarius Williams, came away with the football and caught it in the left corner of the end zone for a touchdown. The extra point makes it 23-21. Brunswick kicks an onside kick. Of course, we're just over a minute to go in the ball game now. They get the onside kick after it goes the necessary 10 yards. They jump off sides or have a false start on their first play from scrimmage, so that makes it 1st and 15. On the snap, the ensuing snap, they actually throw an interception. It's picked off, and Decula returns it 60 yards for a touchdown, so it's 29-21. They actually missed the extra point, or it was blocked by the Pirates, so still BHS just a touchdown and a 2-point play away inside the final minute. But Brunswick gets the ball in decent field position after a squib kick by the Falcons. And lo and behold, they get it down inside the Decula territory and inside the 35, and they turn it over again on another interception, and that was the ball game. So Decula gets it done against the Pirates down between the bricks in Glenn County Stadium. Disappointing finish to a great season by the Pirates. They did win 10 games, have an undefeated regular season. Of course, they won an 11th game with their first playoff victory, but it all finishes on a disappointing note. That's going to be hard to recover from, but the Pirates did win a region championship and a city championship, so hopefully there's still a lot of good memories from the 2021 season. It just certainly came to a crushing end for the Pirates, and they'll have to somehow bounce back in a big way next year. We'll see if they can get it done. So that's the end of the 2021 season for the Brunswick High School Pirates. We'll see what happens with our other Area 912 teams still remaining alive as we go into the Turkey Day weekend here in Georgia in the playoffs, the quarterfinal round. For On Air with 912 Sports, I'm Kevin Price.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
And then there were three. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by podcast host and writer Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, Sean. Obviously, we're clicking off playoff weeks here. Before we know it, we're going to be done, and that's going to be sad. But, right now it's exciting times in Georgia high school football because the games just get bigger and bigger, and the stakes get higher and higher as now we move into Turkey Week games and, of course, the quarterfinal round in the state playoff.
Yeah, you're always a pretty good team in the state of Georgia if you're practicing during the week of Thanksgiving. And Kevin, both of us licking our wounds. Our two alma maters both went down to defeat, and really in both cases, Kevin, neither one of us feel like they should have lost. They probably had winnable games. And the sad thing about it is both of them would have been at home this week for round 3. But hey, the football gods just weren't smiling on neither the Ware County Gators or the Brunswick High Pirates, and they get to have turkey uninterrupted this year. They won't have to worry about I got to go to practice before mom's dinner's ready or whatever. They get to go start practicing basketball if that's their sport of choice. But we won't dwell too much on that. We'll move right into the third round of the state playoffs. First game up is the second-seeded Peach County coming down to Bearville to take on the number 1 seed Pierce County Bears. Pierce County Bears rolled Friday night 42-0 over Dawson County. DJ Bell had another huge night, 300 yards. I think he scored 3 or 4 touchdowns, had another 100 yards passing. Just a phenomenal performance by him. Another shutout for those Pierce County Bears, Kevin. I know people keep getting sick of us talking about that defense, but guys, this is a very, very special bunch that's on the defensive side of the ball. Anytime you can take a second-round playoff team and just shut them out, that says a lot. Peach comes in this contest 8-3. They've lost to some pretty good teams. They've lost to Central Alabama, which is a Phoenix City school. They've lost to Northside Warner Robins, which I think most 3A schools would lose to. And I'm not real sure who that other loss was. But Peach is really, really good. They come into this game just knocking off, one of the favorites in 3A, Monroe area. As a matter of fact, I believe Kevin Monroe area was ranked number 1. Peach was able to get the win 24-21. So Bears going to have a little bit different animal showing up there in Bearville on Friday night.
Yeah, Sean, I will go back to, Ware and Brunswick, and I really did feel like both of our schools would still be playing this weekend. And, but they were playing teams that are, perennial powers, if you will, that have had their own runs of success. And, maybe I was mildly surprised that Brunswick lost, and probably a little more surprised, certainly, that, Ware County lost, particularly, there at home. But these two teams that we're about to talk about in 3A, though, Sean, I would have been shocked if they weren't still around in the quarterfinals, going all the way back to the preseason, but certainly entering the playoffs. Of course, we're talking about Pierce County, and we're about to talk about Appling. But both of these teams, Sean, are built around great defenses. If defenses do still win state championships, then these two teams might as well play each other again for a state championship, because they might have two of the best defenses in the state, but particularly in Class 3A. And you're right, Sean, this Pierce County defense, people may get tired of us talking about them, but that's where it all starts and probably where it all ends with Pierce County, other than DJ Bell. I mean, Jimmy Singleton, who's like a historian, I guess, or jack of all trades, or there might be several other things I can call Jimmy Singleton.
he's all Mr. Pierce County. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, the ball-headed old man, because he does have his hair shaved, and I think the Pierce County football team made sure that happened again. But anyway, he pointed out on Facebook, I think 42-0 over Windsor Forest in the round 1. I guess 49-0 the other night. And when you go back to that 20-0 shutout against Appling County, so basically a region championship there, and then 2 playoff games. I think that adds up to 111-0. Sean, in the last 3 ball games. So you don't allow any points. You score 1 in every game, you're going to win. But of course, they've rolled up some serious yardage and points these last 2 games, and DJ Bell certainly has been the bell cow for the offense. But Sean, people probably get tired of hearing me say this too, but I'm going to say it again. They're not running into a team this week. They're running into a program. That's what Pierce County is. Whether they have Trojans across the front of their jerseys or Peach County across the front of their jerseys, these kids believe they win football games when they step on that gridiron. They've been to the quarterfinal round every year since 2016. They went to the state championship game and lost in tough fashion in 2017 and in 2018. This is the first time, I think, since 2015 they have not been in the top 10 in their classification rankings since getting knocked out of the top 10 about mid-season. So to hear Peach County being unranked, that's odd. Yeah. And so maybe it was a mild surprise that they beat Monroe area, the so-called top-ranked team in the state last week. But when you talk about perennial powers, good programs in the state. Peach County is one of those that's going to be there. And they play some good defense as well. They beat Morgan County 42-3 in round one, and then held a pretty good Monroe area team to that 24-21 score. So Pierce County's got their work cut out for them, but if they continue to play good defense, they're right back there in Bearville. I would expect that Pierce County has got a really good shot to win this game again, because they're a program. They know what it's about winning the state championships. They just did it last year, and now they've got a good shot to be back there again. And I'm going to say one more thing, Sean. Cripps County is still in the playoffs as well. I think they're on the opposite side of the bracket. Woo! What kind of fun would that be? Pierce against Cripps.
Yeah, because we got to see that one up close and personal when Pierce was able to get that big victory last year. It was a dogfight from the opening whistle, and it continued after the closing whistle. Kevin. I mean, it was on. So yeah, there's no love lost between those two teams. And if those two teams do wind up playing one another for a state title, I'll definitely be buying my ticket for that one, because it'll definitely be a good one. But
hold on now, Sean. I don't want you to have to buy anything. We'll fight that argument with Steve Figueroa and the Georgia High School Association.
That's right.
If we cover Pierce County, they can watch this video as evidence. We're not going down that road again.
There you go. We'll submit this for their review, as they say.
There you go.
But yeah, look for Pierce County to roll on. It's going to be a tough call, but I think they can get it done against Peach this Friday night in Bearville. Appling County, number 2 seeds, got to go on the road up to Thompson to take on the Bulldogs. This is a former Ware County defensive coordinator that's running that show up there. Michael Youngblood, he's the head coach. Thompson comes into this game 11-0. They're probably 11-0 because they did cancel a game against Ware County, the 3rd or 4th game of the season. They decided not to come play the Ware County Gators, and therefore
you had that written in your notes.
I got that written in my notes, so they kept that perfect record. But, hey, listen, they're going to get hold of a beast, and that's Appling County. Hey, listen, congratulations to Jordan Mullis and that bunch up there from the Pirates that went up on the road to beat Cherokee Bluff, an undefeated 3A team that a lot of people had marked down for making the semis, making the finals. A very, very good team, and Appling went up there and handled their business and got that win. A big night for the running back Crosby, 324 yards, 4 touchdowns on the night. Had a big punt return, big kickoff return. So, I mean, this kid played lights out, and the Pirates come away with a big win. Going to be tough when you go to Thompson. That's a really, really nice stadium up there. Yes. Those fans are very knowledgeable football fans. They're into the game. They're going to pack that stadium. But listen, I think Jordan Mullis and them, if they can get it done against Cherokee Bluff, they can get it done against Thompson.
Oh, I agree. And, Appling County, of course, has already won on the road. So here they are going back on the road. I don't know what kind of environment Cherokee Bluff has, but you're right about Thompson having a heck of an environment, or they have at least in years past. And I would think it's going to be raucous up there again the Friday after Thanksgiving on Black Friday. And they probably will be wearing black jerseys, I would assume. And they might be decked in all black for all I know. But talk about a good defense. We know Appling's got one, 112 points allowed on the season against a pretty good schedule that does include a 7A team in TIFF, mind you, and a pretty good non-region schedule is what I'm pointing out, in addition to this region schedule that they play. Thompson, no discredit to them. They're 11-0. Maybe haven't quite played exactly that schedule that Appling did when you look at maybe playing some bigger and better teams, but they have only given up 81 points, John. So They've got a good defensive football team as well. They're balanced offensively, more so a running team, but they average 252 on the ground, just over 100 through the air. So average right at 355 yards per game. Their quarterback is more of a running threat than a passing threat. I think he averages right at 140, 145 yards a game. Most of that is running the football. I think about 85, 90 yards on the ground and only about 50 or 60 through the air. So obviously they really want to, keep that ball on the ground if they can. Their top running back, the Curry kid, does average over 100 yards rushing per game. So they kind of got a two-headed monster right there with those two kids running the football. But we all know this Appling defense is tough, and obviously they got a big gun that they gave the ball to last week, and he came through for them. And being that they've already gone on the road and beat a really good, sound football team. I think that Appling is built to handle this assignment as well. I know we're biased, but I think this is a game that's there for the taking for Appling if they continue to play football like they have, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. And it does look like, Sean, they've gotten over that loss to Pierce County in that season finale, and that's certainly good to see. Obviously, that could have really sent them in a downward spiral, but they turned it around. They knew they had bigger and better things ahead, and right now they're marching on as a 2 seed.
Right. Yeah, like I said, and that's one of the things that Jordan Mullis preached when we had an interview with him before the Pierce County game, is regardless of what happened in that game, that Appling still had, task in front of them. And I think that's one of the lessons that, that he shared with the kids, and that's one of the things that they've been able to do, put that loss behind them, and move on through these fields. Like I said, going to be a little bit tougher, doing it on the road there in Thompson, but at the same time, that defense for the Pirates, I look for that to be a low-scoring game. I don't think you're going to see a 49-42 score in that game. I think you'll see something, 28-24, 21-24, 21-28, something like that. And I think the Pirates will come out on top. But that brings us to our final game, Kevin. Number 2 seed Northeast, 9-3 on the season, is going to be traveling over to Swainsboro to take on the number 1 seed Swainsboro Tigers. Swainsboro 10-2, only lost to Metter at the beginning of the year. The one that makes you scratch your head, they lost to Washington County. Washington County really didn't have a really great year, 5-5 on the season. But you look over there at Northeast, they lost to some big boys, Doherty County, Bleckley County, and Lamar. I think all 3 of those teams were playoff teams. They may all still be playing. I'm not real sure, but they've played some good competition. But listen, Ty Adams and that little band of Tigers he's got over there in Swainsboro, those guys will be ready. They'll be ready to score some points. And like I said, I look for Swainsboro to be playing in the Elite 8.
Yeah, Sean, and we talked about Appling getting over that loss to Pierce in that season finale. Now, Swainsboro and Jeff Davis didn't play in the season finale, but they met in a similar type game. Those 2 teams were on a collision course in this AA region that we cover, and we talked about it last week that Swainsboro won that game, albeit with a controversial touchdown when the quarterback, or it wasn't the quarterback though, was it?
It was a quarterback. It was a quarterback. Lost his helmet.
His helmet came off, possibly, before he reached the end zone or the ball broke the plane. But it was ruled a touchdown, and they won that game 15-14, even though Jeff Davis had a chance to kick a game-winning field goal at the end. And, Sean, that game right there, I believe, is why Swainsboro is moving on, and Jeff Davis, unfortunately, is at home. Because look at the matchup. They played a much easier game at home against Columbia. Where did Jeff Davis have to go?
On the road to Georgia,
face top-ranked Raven County and that kid named Gunnar Stockton. Where would you rather be? Let's make no bones about it. You'd rather be in the Pinelands against Columbia. So now Swainsboro has taken advantage of that. They've marched on into the second round, and Sean, they're rolling. They've outscored their 2 playoff opponents, including last week's win by 41-14, 89-22. And hey, sometimes it's not a mystery. It's not rocket science. Your best player carries you. That's what's happening. Ty Adams scored 3 rushing touchdowns and threw a pass the other night for a touchdown to account for Swainsboro's first 4 touchdowns in that game the other night. Now, this team they're playing this weekend, Northeast, they've got a quarterback who's pretty good on their own. Travis Solomon, he was 17-24 the other night for 254 yards through the air. He also carried the ball 13 times for 72 yards. Now, Sean, both of these teams are probably happy about being here. This is the first time for Swainsboro in the quarterfinal round since 2003. This is the first time ever, I believe, for Northeast. So the excitement really high. The adrenaline's going to be pumping. The nerves are probably going to be pumping, but I do like Swainsboro in this game. It's probably a matchup of quarterbacks, whichever team can get the biggest game out of the quarterback, or whichever defense might be able to slow the other team's strong suit. So we'll see if Ty Adams can lead Swainsboro to another big victory and get them into the semifinals. And I think Ty Adams might play basketball, but he may be playing football a little bit longer.
Yeah, he may have to wait before he takes over the hardwood. That's for sure. Well, listen, we appreciate everybody watching. They've only got 3 games here in the 912. Kevin, I would not be a bit surprised if we got 3 games next week. But I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving as you're seeing this show on Wednesday night this week due to Thanksgiving. Maybe try to eat just a little bit less turkey. Don't put yourself in that tryptophan coma or whatever it is. So I'm having to eat a little bit better. So everybody else sort of do the same thing. So
what is your favorite part of the Thanksgiving feast?
Oh, it's a turkey. Yeah. I like, and listen, I love eating it at lunch, but mine is Thanksgiving night, somewhere about 8 o'clock, getting that good piece of fresh bread, getting that mayonnaise, and having that turkey sandwich. That's the best thing about Thanksgiving for me.
That is good. I mean, I like the turkey, but I love the dressing, and I love pecan pie.
Oh, pecan pie. The old to be able to eat a piece of pecan pie right now.
And hey, Thursday night with the Egg Bowl on between Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
That's right.
And a turkey sandwich, that might not be bad.
Turkey sandwich, a little pecan pie, maybe a glass of milk. Yep. That put me right in the coma. I might sleep till Saturday.
This is a PG show. That's right.
That's right. A glass of milk. That might put me to sleep till Saturday. So, hey, but we appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, may all your check marks go in the win column. Good night, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
This has been On Air with 912 Sports. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with more coverage of Southeast Georgia high school sports. On Air with 912 Sports has been brought to you by Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, Prime South Bank, Gibson Animal Clinic, Coastal Pines Technical College, Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, and Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty. This has been a presentation of 912 Sports, Southeast Georgia's #1 source for high school sports.